What's up? What's happening? What is popping? What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another great edition of Symone with the Spizoids. I'm Symone, bringing you guys daily sports talk. So if you're new here, if you're older here and haven't already subscribed to my channel, stop what you're doing, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me. Also, make sure you check out the links down below. The first one is to buy me a coffee to help you this channel. The second one is to shop the official Symone with the Spizoids merch collection. Get you the classic tee, the wavy tee, or the flower dye crew neck for all of my birds fans. And lastly, guys, if you do not do anything else, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss a single video or a single live stream. Y'all, we've got so much to get into. So tomorrow night, well, let's start with the standings because I'm here to offer you guys, we got a lot of bad news as of late. James Harden goes down, Tyrese Maxey goes down, Joel Embiid goes down. There goes our big three, our core right there. Tobias Harris has been battling injury. Tobias Harris, it seems like Tobias Harris has been battling injury, but I saw Keith Pompey made a tweet today and was saying PJ Tucker is the only Sixers starter who's not dealing with an ailment. So that's a lot. I really wanted I really wanted to beat the Nets tomorrow. TNT game. Ben Simmons is back. I really wanted to beat the Nets, especially since the Nets, straight up, we're always going to have, it's not even Ben Simmons. We're just so tied to the Nets right now because of that trade. James Harden storyline with the Nets. Then you got the Ben Simmons storyline, Seth Curry. Andre Drummond isn't on the team anymore. But, yeah, it's just a lot of storylines when we play the Nets. And last season, the Nets murked us. That one game, the first time we played the Nets after that James Harden trade, they murked us. So I wanted to get my lick back versus the Nets. But now we know Joel Embiid isn't playing. It's any given night. Dudes pull off upsets all the time. But we're likely not going to be competitive in that game. Ben Simmons is playing well. He had 3 good games. I think last night he had a double-double. Kyrie's back. And then, of course, Kevin Durant. Now, if we had Joel Embiid, I would have honestly think, even without James and Tyrese, just with Joel, because the Nets, from what I've seen of the Nets defense has been piss poor. So I honestly felt like if we had Embiid, then Embiid was enough to pull off, and it would still be an upset if they were fully healthy and we weren't. I would have thought Embiid would be enough to beat the Nets. Of course, we will want Tyrese, we will want James, but I think if Embiid went in beast mode, then it would have been enough to beat the Nets. But now Embiid is going to be out tomorrow night against the Nets. Still going to watch the game, of course. It's a TNT game, but not watching it with the same enthusiasm because this had the making to be a huge matchup that just isn't there anymore. But let's talk about some of these injury timelines. So Joel Embiid is going to be out for sure against the Nets and the Hornets, which is a back-to-back Tuesday and Wednesday. Tyrese Maxey is expected to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So we're not even looking at his time. That's mid-December, early mid-December. And James Harden is expected to be back at the beginning of December. So that's the timeline. Joel Embiid is expected to, we already know he's going to miss his back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday, but after the back-to-back, he's going to continue to be evaluated. So after the Hornets game, Joel Embiid could honestly come back any given game after the Hornets game. But y'all, let's talk about, because there is a bunch of negatives there, but let's talk about some of the positives, and then I'm going to talk about one other negative. But let's start with the positives. First of all, we beat the Bucks. And we recently beat the Hawks. So those are 2 really good Eastern Conference wins for us. The Hawks beat us, then we turned around and beat them, and then we were undermanned in that Bucks game, but we still came around and beat the Bucks. And then in that Minnesota Timberwolves game, and this is me showing heart. You know what I mean? We got the Hawks out-hustled us, out-everythinged us in that first game against the Hawks, and then we turned around and just flipped the script and turned around and handled the Hawks. So the mindset is there, and that's positive to me, because earlier in the season we were talking about the team not having the mindset, not having the winning grind culture. And then against the Bucks, again, undermanned, but we still win in that game and pulled off that upset against the Bucks. And then against the Timberwolves, completely undermanned, and we still, that game went down to the final seconds. So just the team, just because Tyrese isn't playing, James isn't playing, the team still just not laying down like, oh, this is an L because we're without James and Tyrese. No, we're still all professional basketball players. Shake Milton stepped up offensively. DeAnthony Melton stepped up offensively. So these guys stepping up in the absence of James Harden and Tyrese. That's a huge, huge, huge positive. Also, another thing. Yes, we're going to be undermanned. We're going to be undermanned for a while, but we have an easier... Nothing's easy, again, all NBA players, but we have an easier chunk of the schedule while we are undermanned. So we have the next game, which is going to be super tough, and then we play the Hornets. Now, the Hornets have been pretty trash this season, so that's going to be a game where we already know we are going to have Joel, we are going to have Tyrese, and we are going to have James Harden, but that's still a game where we need to go in and compete to win that game, because again, the Hornets have not been a super competitive team this season. So even though we're going to be completely short-staffed, that's still a game that we can go in and be competitive against. Then we have the Magic. They've got Paolo, who's been really good, but outside of Paolo, the Magic are just a okay team. We play the Magic back-to-back, and in those games, Joel could be back. If Joel is back for those Magic games, which we really need Joel to be back for those Magic games, because those are two games that we can win just with Joel. So we really need Joel to be back. After the Hornets, we need Joel to be back for those two Magic games. So those are two games that we can win with Joel going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So those guys played the same way that they played against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We can win those two Magic games without Tyrese and without James. But Joel definitely will be out for the Nets and Hornets. Then we have the Hawks and Cavs. Now, that's the end of our November schedule. And James was supposed to be back at the beginning of December. So that's why I'm just doing the snapshot of the November schedule, because this is where we know where we're going to be out without James and without Tyrese Maxey. So without James and Tyrese Maxey, we'll have Magic, Hawks, Cavs. And then after that, they said James Harden back early December. We'll see how early in December. But we know the Hawks and Cavs are going to be tough. And I fully expect Joel to be back at least for the Hawks game, because they say he's out for the Nets and Hornets, and then he'll be kind of reevaluated day to day. And that's 2 games. He should definitely be back by the Hawks games, because that would be at least 4 games of rest for him by the time we play the Hawks and Cavs at the end of November. So the bright side is that we have a 4-game stretch where we can win 3 out of the 4 games. We have we can win any game, but the Nets, Hornets, Magic, we can win. We got to win the Hornets, Magic game before we play the Hawks and Cavs. That's my main thing. We're going to be undermanned, but we have a little easier chunk of the schedule these upcoming 4 games before we hit the Hawks and Cavs. So guys are going to have to step up. But also at the same time, y'all, let's take a little peek at the conference standings. So we're 8-8 right now, and 8-8 is putting us at 8th in the Eastern Conference, y'all. But we are only 5 games out of first place. We are only 3 games out of second place. The Bucks only have 11 wins, and we have the tiebreaker over the Bucks. We're only 3 games out of second place. We're only 2 games out of third and fourth place. So yeah, we're 8-8 and we're 8th on the schedule. But this, it's early in the season, but the season is still, even with all these injuries right now, the Eastern Conference and the NBA as a whole is still so what's the word? It's so in anybody's grasp, as you can kind of say, because we're 8th, but there's no team that's just like fully pulled away so far. So in this stretch, y'all, with the Nets, Hornets, Magic, Hawks, with the Nets, Hornets, Magic, if we can stay at 500 if we can at least just win 2 out of those 4 games to stay at 10-10, I really like that. That's my goal. Nets, Hornets, Magic. We need to win 2 of those games. We need to stay at 10-10. Yeah, so we'll be at 10-10 before we play the Hawks and the Cavs without Tyrese and without James Harden. Now it would be great to go 3-1. Maybe drop the Nets and then win Hornets, Magic. That would be ideal, but the goal is just to go 2-2 out of those 4 games. But y'all, that's just my 2 cents, my 5-10 cents. I really wanted to do a post-game reaction tomorrow, Nets and Sixers. Now, if it's an upset, I would definitely do it. But if that game isn't competitive at all, I'm not doing a post-game reaction because, I mean, we were without Joel Embiid, James, and Tyrese. Like, I'm not doing a post-game reaction on a team that's short. We're short-handed. So it won't even be fun for me reacting to that game. Now, if we pull off an upset, best believe I would be doing a reaction. But y'all, that's just my 2 cents. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me. Check out the links down below. Buy me the copy of this channel. Shout out the official Symone, this video merch collection. And until I talk to you guys next time. Bye.